Welcome to this presentation on the future of brands in a sustainable world, brought to you by Scamper Brand Strategy. We're all familiar with brands, and for our own personal reasons we all have brands that we love and brands that we loathe. But if we're going to talk about the future of brands in a sustainable world, the first thing that we need to establish is what actually is a sustainable brand. And of course the first part of that is to establish what is a brand. DePaul University give a nice definition, which is that a brand is the intangible representation of what an organisation, product or service stands for. And the key point here is that a brand isn't what something is, but it's what it's perceived to be. It's emotional and it's a gut feeling. But if you want a more tangible definition, then here's a brand formula adapted from Seth Godin. It defines brand value as the customer's prediction of what to expect from a brand times the emotional power that that expectation has over them, multiplied by their ability to differentiate this brand from other competing brands. So by simple multiplication, if these three aspects are high, then brand value will be high, but if any one of them is zero, then there'll be no value in the brand. It's also important to note that if the customer has a bad experience of the brand, then in future the emotional power of the brand could actually be negative. So it follows that to create a powerful brand, you need a clear, consistent offering that has strong emotional resonance with your target market and that is specifically associated with you. So if that's a brand, what's sustainability? Well, in essence, sustainability is just the ability to sustain good things. It's often said to have three elements. Environmental sustainability, which is about reducing environmental damage to levels that can be absorbed by nature. Social sustainability, which is about developing a healthy and fair global and local society. And financial sustainability, which is about creating robust business models and stable, prosperous economies. Now, brands have always been a crucial element of achieving financial sustainability, but it's only recently that we've really started to look at how do brands impact on the social and environmental aspects. In fact, rather than contribute to sustainability, big brands have come under a lot of fire in recent years for their role in acts of social and environmental exploitation. The accusation is that their massive financial resources give them far too much power, and it's power that they abuse. But are they really so bad? After all, brands are just a tool that can be used for a variety of purposes, and are therefore neither good nor bad. It's true that some large organisations exploit their own power, but it's not because they are brands. It's actually because they're brands that these irresponsible actions cause such an outcry. We know who they are, identify with them, and feel that they've breached our trust. Brands do help make organisations successful and therefore powerful, but they also make them accountable. And let's not forget that brands can be used for good. They can help responsible businesses to succeed, they can provide a vehicle for promoting good causes, and they can act as role models for more sustainable ways of living and working. And just as unethical behaviour can detract value from a brand, so too can good behaviour add value to a brand. Especially now that consumer awareness of environmental and social issues is increasing, and with it, the expectations that consumers have of a brand's responsibility are also increasing, along with the emotional value that they place on this ethical responsibility. Brands that demonstrate strong concern for social and environmental responsibility are at less risk of offending their target market and are able to increase the value of their brand offering. Basically, showing a commitment to social and environmental sustainability can help brands to become more financially sustainable. But it's not as simple as just being a responsible organisation, telling your customers about it and reaping the rewards. You have to be careful about what you say. The first point that we should make is don't be a show-off. Being a responsible organisation does not give you a license to boast. Many companies that think they're leaders in sustainability are actually only meeting their customers' basic expectations. Many consumers just assume that the brands they trust don't do things like use artificial food colourings, exploit third world labour, and support the logging of rainforests. So when these brands proudly announce they've stopped doing these things, rather than impress, this boasting can raise suspicion. Customers ask themselves questions like, were they not always this responsible? Were they deceiving me in the past? Are these new claims really worth anything? And what else are they hiding from me now? not to mention the fact that no one likes a show-off. Few consumers are under the illusion that the brands they like are perfect, but they do have expectations, and you need to understand these expectations and talk to them in a tone that they appreciate. And the second thing that we need to emphasise is don't forget yourself. It's good to be a responsible organisation, but environmental friendliness and social responsibility are rarely what the customer's actually buying. Whatever made your brand successful in the first place is still the most important thing. Your brand is who you are, it's what you stand for. Corporate responsibility is not in itself what the customer wants, it's just a signal telling their conscience that it's okay to want you. The most successful ethical brands know this, and they succeed by focusing on what they're really selling, and not just on how responsible they are. So we come back to our original question, what is a sustainable brand? Well, the most sustainable brands in future will be those that stand for something clear and distinct, offer something of high emotional value to the target market, live up to the customer's expectations, which are going to increasingly include corporations showing respect for people and the environment, and they'll be the brands that talk to customers on their own level. How long will they last? Well, everything has a natural life cycle, and the idea that a brand can be truly sustainable and go on forever is just unrealistic. People change, cultures change, circumstances change. Brands need to adapt to society's changing needs, and through careful brand management, the valuable life of brands can be extended. But we need to accept that there'll come a day for all brands when they become irrelevant to the target market, and they're replaced by new brands that meet the needs of the market at that time. Those that last the longest will be those that show a commitment to triple bottom line sustainability without losing focus on their core value as brands. And they'll also be the brands that provide the greatest value not just to their shareholders and managers, but to their staff, customers, and society in general. So what's the future of brands in a sustainable world? Well, brands should be used as a force for good, helping us to move towards a sustainable world. They're going to be crucial in holding unethical organisations to account, and just as importantly, in rewarding those committed to sustainable development. For more information, visit www.sustainablebrandstrategy.com.